Welcome to Coverage and Clarity with Jacques, the podcast where we break down protection, planning, and peace of mind so you can make confident decisions for the people who matter most.
Welcome to Coverage and Clarity with Jacques, the podcast where we slow things down, remove the confusion, and focus on what truly matters, protecting what you've worked so hard to build. Today, I'm talking about something every business owner needs to think about, even if it's not the most exciting part of running their business. And that thing is, if your business had to stop tomorrow, just for a moment, would everything you've built still stand? Or would it begin to unravel? Now, that's a serious question, but a necessary one. Because when you're a business owner, you're not just running a company, you're carrying responsibility. Responsibility for your income, for your family, your employees, your clients, your reputation. And yet, so many entrepreneurs build their business on passion, hustle, long nights, early mornings, and determination, but not always on protection. So today, I want to talk to you about something that doesn't always get enough attention, but quietly determines whether a business can survive during a crisis. That is having insurance, not as an expense, not as a checkbox, but as a foundation for success. Let's start with something very real. When you work a traditional job, there's often a safety net in place. You may have benefits. You may have paid time off. You may have company systems, backup, support, or someone else helping you carry the load. But when you're an entrepreneur, you are the system. If you don't show up, the business feels it. Something happens to you, everything connected to you is affected. That's why small business owners have to think differently. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine a small business owner. Let's call her Angela. Angela runs a cleaning service. She has clients. She has 2 employees. She's growing. Things are moving in the right direction. But one day, Angela gets injured. Nothing catastrophic, but enough to keep her out for several weeks. Now what happens? Revenue slows down. Clients start looking elsewhere. The bills don't stop. Her employees still need direction. Her business momentum gets interrupted. And that's the point. Risk doesn't always show up as a dramatic headline event. Sometimes it shows up quietly. Sometimes it shows up as an illness, an injury, a lawsuit, a fire, a delay, a mistake. And there's no plan in place. Even a temporary interruption can create long-term problems. Now let's talk about risk, because every business owner doesn't fear it. They need clarity. There are 4 major risk categories every entrepreneur should understand. The first one, liability risk. This is what happens if someone gets hurt, if property gets damaged, or if someone claims your business causes a loss. Maybe a client slipped in your office. Maybe a product caused harm. Maybe a service doesn't go as planned. Without the right coverage, those costs can come straight out of your pocket. That could be devastating for a small business. Property risk. This includes fire, theft, vandalism, or damage to your tools, equipment, inventory, or workspace your business depends on. If your business needs physical items to operate, then property protection matters, because replacing those items out of pocket could slow down recovery and strain cash flow. There's income risk. This is one of the most overlooked risks of all. If your business pauses, your income may pause too. And for some small business owners, that creates immediate pressure. The rent still needs to be paid. The staff still needs to be paid. The bills still keep coming. Then there's your personal risk. Now that's the one that hits closest to home. Because if something happens to you, what happens to the business? What happens to your family? That's why I always say your business is not separate from your life. It supports your life. So protection strategy has to account for both. Now let's shift from risk to solutions, because this is where the conversation becomes empowering. The first coverage I want you to understand is general liability insurance. This is often the first line of defense for a business. It can help protect against bodily injury claims, property damage, and legal expenses tied to everyday business transactions. In simple terms, it helps protect you from unexpected moments that could happen while serving customers, clients, or even the public. The next is property insurance. If you own your equipment, inventory, office furniture, or physical location, these matter. Property insurance helps you recover, and that's an important distinction because the goal is not to just survive a loss. The goal is to recover without starting from zero. Next, we have business interruption insurance. Now, this is a powerful type of coverage that many people overlook. If your business has to pause briefly because of a covered event, this coverage can help replace lost income during that interruption. Now, that matters because, as you know, time is money. And in business, time lost can be opportunities lost as well. The next coverage I wanted to discuss with you is professional liability, also known as errors and omission. If you provide advice or services to clients, this one is very critical. Why? Because sometimes the risk isn't physical, sometimes the risk isn't financial, sometimes it's a mistake, sometimes it's a misunderstanding, and sometimes it's a claim against you because of your work has caused a loss to a client. That's why professional liability can play an important role in protecting service-based businesses. Now, here's where many people stop, but I want to go one level deeper because one of the most important parts of this business protection is often overlooked. Now, let's talk about something that doesn't always get connected to the business, but absolutely should be. That's life insurance. If you're the driving force behind your business, then your presence has economic value. You are part of the income engine. You are part of the leadership. You are part of stability. So if something happens to you, the impact can be immediate and significant. Ask yourself, can your family maintain their lifestyle? Can the business continue? Can debts be covered? Can your loved ones avoid financial pressure during an already painful time? Let me give you a scenario. A business owner passes away unexpectedly. The business had clients, it had revenue, it had momentum, but no plan, no liquidity, no protection strategy. Now the family is grieving, and at the same time, they're forced to make fast financial decisions. Do they sell the business? Do they close it? Do they take on debt? Do they try to run something they may not be prepared to manage? That is an overwhelming burden for any family. Life insurance changes that conversation. It can provide immediate financial support. It can create stability. It can give your loved ones options instead of pressure. And that's not just protection. That's leadership. Now let's talk about another important area, partnerships and key people. If you're in business with a partner, or if your business depends heavily on one essential person, you need a strategy for that as well. Now, this is where buy-sell agreements come in. A buy-sell agreement funded by life insurance can make sure that if one partner passes away, the other partner can buy out their share in an orderly way. That means the family receives fair compensation, the business stays stable, and the surviving owner doesn't get stuck trying to work through ownership confusion in the middle of all the crisis. And that kind of planning creates clarity. It reduces conflict. It protects relationships. It protects the business. Then there's key person insurance. This is for the person the business cannot function without. Maybe it's the founder. Maybe it's the lead technician. Maybe it's the top salesperson. Maybe it's the person who keeps operations moving. If that person's suddenly gone, the business may struggle. Key person insurance can provide financial support during transition so that the business has time to adjust, to replace the talent, and to recover. Now, let me say this clearly. A business without continuity plan is vulnerable. A business with a plan is stronger. Now, I want you to be clear with this for a moment. Most business owners don't ignore insurance because they don't care. They delay it for understanding reasons. They focus on growth. They think it's too expensive. They believe it won't happen to them, or they just haven't had the time to review everything properly. But here are the most common mistakes I see. Being underinsured, not reviewing coverage as the business grows, mixing personal and business coverage in a way that creates gaps, and ignoring life insurance altogether. The reality is this: growth without protection is exposure. You can build something amazing, but if protection doesn't keep up, one unexpected event can create major setbacks. So let's reframe the conversation for a moment. Insurance is not just about defense, it's about strategy. It allows you to take calculated risk, it helps you grow with confidence, it supports long-term substantiability. What that means for smart business planning is just like this. Because success isn't just how fast you grow, it's about how protected you are while you're growing. That part makes many people overlook. Now, that's the part that can make all the difference when life gets unpredictable. So let me bring this home to you. If you're listening right now and you're building something, I want to acknowledge you for that. Entrepreneurship takes courage. It takes discipline. It takes a vision. It takes sacrifice. But courage without protection is vulnerability. And here are three simple questions I want you to think about. If your business paused tomorrow, would you be financially okay? If something happened to you, would your family be protected? Do you have a clear, coordinated protection strategy in place? Now, if the answer is, I'm not sure, that's all right. But it's also one for an opportunity for you to do the next step. That next step is to review your coverage, ask questions, start the conversation. Because your business is more than just income. It's your vision, your sacrifice, your legacy. And it deserves to be protected just in that way. Now remember, I provide coverage to clients nationwide. If you'd like to contact me, you can reach me at the studio at 631-594-8118. Once again, 631-594-8118. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Coverage and Clarity with Jacques. Now, this is where we make complex simple and where we help you move forward with confidence. Until next time, stay focused, stay prepared, and stay intentional.